Hello YouTube. Well, I was tagged by Peter from FS Bushcraft on a pocket dump with your EDC. So first thing I want to talk about is EDC and what it means to me. Okay, so it's everyday carry, and essentially that's really what it is what you carry every day, and the meaning behind that really is how prepared are you, or what do you carry on your person to be prepared to go into the woods and possibly work your way out of an emergency situation. So in my opinion, I think that's the general definition of EDC. But what I really think of as EDC, because of who I am and what I am, or what I am not, it may differ a little bit than that. So what I am or what I am not is I'm not a zombie hunter, and I'm not a prepper. I'm just a guy that likes to go out in the woods and goof around and have a good time, and that's just pretty much it. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there are just like me. So what EDC means to me is what I carry on my person if I want to go on an impromptu hike. What I have with me, available to me at all times, if I feel the urge to get out into the green. So that might not necessarily be what I have on my person at all times, and that may change with what I have on my person at all times, or at some times. So what EDC is to me is what I have in my immediate vicinity at all times. And really what that means is what I have on my person, what I may have in a coat, if weather allows that I need a coat, or what I have in my car. Because if I'm going somewhere to be in the woods, I'm going to be taking my car or my truck. So that's what EDC means to me. So with all that being said, let's get started. Now, I just got back from vacation, so I'm really, we just got back yesterday, and we're still kind of putting the house back together and everything. And when you're gone for 2 weeks, you're kind of discombobulated and just trying to get back to the norm. So what I did was, I don't have any pockets. I'm just wearing my house shorts right now. I was cutting the grass earlier. I was running errands, but I brought in downstairs in my office all of the things that I do carry in my pockets, and some of the things that I keep in my truck. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. Now, first and foremost, I have my belt, and of course, car keys. My wallet, which is not always on me, is not on me. It's upstairs by the coffee pot, because I was just making coffee. So before I go any further than that, as you guys know, I live in the Chicagoland area, and I really have to deliberately go out into the woods to go out into the woods. It's not like something that's going to happen. If I get stranded on the side of the road, it's on a highway. There's 1,000 people passing me no matter where I'm at. Obviously I have my cell phone on me. Any type of urban emergency problem, I'm well equipped with. So my truck has jumper cables, toolkit. And I'm an electrician, so I've got tools. I've got lots of tools in my vehicle, and I've got my cell phone. And really, that's all you need in today's world to be prepared for any urban problems. So on this belt, I always carry my Gerber tool. I love my Gerber tool. It has a lot of things on it that I like. It has a lot of things on it that I don't use, and I've already sent this Gerber in a couple of times to be repaired, and they've been great about replacing parts on it just because I asked them to, not because it was broken. So what I have on it that I do use is can opener. I use the Phillips screwdriver not very often. All 3 1/4-inch, 3/16, and 1/8 inch flathead. One of the times I sent it in, I broke this, the 1/8 inch flathead. I use obviously the knife, which they replaced for me. I wanted one. I wanted them to replace the original one that was on here. They didn't. They replaced it with a straight blade. And next time I send it in, I'm going to ask them to put the knife with a belly back on it, just a preference of mine. And it's got a 2-sided file, which I also use quite a bit. Some of the things that I don't use on it is the little lanyard hole. Never put a rope through that in my whole life. I don't know what that's for. And the serrated blade. I don't use that. I'm not a big fan of serrated blades. It's still pretty sharp. I've used it for skinning large wire before, like when I'm stripping wire to recycle. Other than that, and you can use a razor knife for that. Other than that, I really don't use this. So next time I send it in, I'm going to ask them to replace this with a saw and replace the lanyard with a scissor. When they do that, this will be, for me, the perfect EDC, which I already carry every day. And as I said before, I'm an electrician. I've been through 2 apprenticeship programs. I've done telecommunications work as well as electrical work, commercial inside wireman electrical work. So depending on what I'm doing, I carry on the other side of my belt either a pair of what we call snips, which are just scissors. If I'm doing telecommunications work or working with smaller wire or cabling, I keep this on my belt. Very handy. This will cut a penny in half. And any of you guys that know what this is, these are telecommunication snips. You guys know that those are extremely handy to have on your belt. If I'm not wearing that, if I'm not doing telecommunications work, I carry this. Now, I grew up in the 70s, and Bo and Luke Duke always had one of these on their belt, and I've always had one of these on my belt. Mine's not a buck 110. Mine is an old Schrade carbon steel, made in the USA, 110 style old timer lock blade knife. I love this knife. It's got a story. I love Schrade, and this stays on my belt all the time, unless, of course, it's one or the other for me. And usually, if I have this, now again, the Gerber's got a blade on it, but if I have this on my blade and on my belt and not this, I usually carry a small pocket style knife in my pocket. And if I don't, this is always in the truck. So before I get out of the truck, I'll pull this out of the glove box or in the door compartment where I sometimes keep it and put it in my pocket. So this is something also, and this is just a small pocket knife. It's got a really good edge on it. It says NWTF stainless. This was my brother's. It's just a Chinese knife, but it seems to be pretty good quality. It's got a nice edge on it. It's not wobbly. I don't beat on it. I don't do anything with it other than just cut small, whatever needs to be cut. That's a 2-inch blade's going to do for you. So just something that I have that is in good shape that I keep with me if I need it. Now, other things that I try to keep in my pockets pretty much at all times are these 2 items here. You guys might recognize one of these, and you guys might recognize one of these. Now, I'm an ex-smoker, but I always carry a lighter either on me or in my truck. I've got 3 lighters in my truck right now. This is the one that I usually keep in my pocket, and of course this is just a single cell LED flashlight. Runs on 1 AAA. It's got a keychain hook. In all honesty, I don't know what brand it is. It was about $7, I think, at Target. I bought 2 of them. I keep one clipped onto my backpack right here, and I keep the other one in my pocket. This pretty much stays in my front pocket at all times, because when I'm popping a ceiling tile and I forget my flashlight down in my bag, or if I'm walking around with the boss or some other guys trying to show them something, I pull this out and we can look real quick. It's a really good, really strong flashlight. It's a no-name flashlight, but I've had it over a year now, and it is fantastic. So other than that, really the only other EDC item I have is on those days when I want to go out in the woods. In my door of my truck, I keep just your regular orienteer's compass. This goes around my neck every time I go into the woods. I keep this with me, and at the very least it reminds me to take a mental bearing before I go into the woods. There's not too many times where I go into the woods and I go, oh, well, where am I? You know, you pay attention, you know where you came from. You at least know where you came from. I always carry this around my neck, and I always check it before I go into the woods. Okay, that way's north. I'm going east into the woods. I'll be coming west out of the woods. I plan my route before I go into the woods. I'm going to go east, and I'm going to cut south this way. That's the way I go, and then I know I can come out either by coming this way or this way, and I use my compass in that fashion. I'm not an orienteer, but it works for me. So all that being said, that's what I carry on my person pretty much on a daily basis. Few of the items stay in my truck, few of the items get swapped out. Pretty familiar sounding, you know. I'm sure a lot of you other guys, Peter, I know you said that you swap some items out here and there as well as I do, and I'm sure everybody else does. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Average Joe's Pocket Dump. And look for my next video. Maybe it's going to be my next video. The last 2 weeks we were out of town on a vacation. It was a family vacation. We were car camping out west, and I took some footage. I didn't go crazy. Mama told me, she goes, no bushwhacking while we're gone. So I did as much as I could without getting into too much trouble. And we had a really good time. So hopefully I can give you guys a decent video to watch on that coming up here in the next couple of days. So until then, stay cool. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.